I'm John Wilson. Welcome to Owned and Operated. Twice a week, we talk about home service businesses, and if you're a home service entrepreneur, then this is going to be the show for you. We talk about our own business in residential plumbing, HVAC, and electric, and we also talk about business models that we just find interesting. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Owned and Operated. Today's a special show. I'm excited about this one. I have my really good friend Sam Preston, CEO of Service Scalers, with us today, and he came up and visited our shop. So welcome, Sam, to Owned and Operated.
This is an epic shop, right?
Yeah.
Like so many different divisions. You have your own Home Depot basically.
Dude,
here.
yeah,
Like
it's sick.
It's sick, bro.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know what I expected. I didn't expect this.
Okay. Like, what was the biggest surprise?
Besides the Home Depot inside your
Yeah, aside from that.
I mean, you have a really good machine here, right? Like you have all your different divisions. I got to be a part of your team huddles and your numbers and your L10 meetings, and that was really epic. And your people is awesome.
Yeah, no, the team's amazing.
I walked in and I was like, everybody was saying hi and wait, like, hey, are you new here? And it's like, I'm not part of the team, but I kind of want to be. I'm like, any job openings?
Yeah. There's a few. Yeah. And have you site visited any other shops before?
No, but I have some invitations, and
Nice.
so I think I'm going to take them up.
Yeah, dude.
On it. Just because it'll be good to understand kind of what the different pain points of these home service companies, right?
Yeah.
Like you guys are doing a decent amount, which is big operations, but I know like these other, $3 to $5 million home service plumbing companies, they don't have the call center that you guys have.
Yeah.
They don't have the, they probably don't have like all the TVs around showing the different team members and their scorecards and what they're doing. So like, it'd be really interesting to like get in on the back end and see what they're doing and where their pain points are.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so we've obviously been like our genesis together was we had been working with Scorpion for like 5 years, and we're super dissatisfied with what was going on. And I don't even remember how we met. It was through our friend Steven. So then
Stephen
Ullman. Shout out. And I was like, hey, dude, like we're really struggling with Scorpion. Like, do you know anybody that could help with us? And then I think it's almost 2 years now that you guys have been running with our digital. It was like 22.
Yeah.
And then you started. And you came on with Down Sept, like our drain company.
Yep. Down Septic. I remember that. And we came in, we were running, I think it's just Google ads to start with. And came in and we were able to get good leads. I remember because we ran multiple different campaigns, and yours was the first we tried out one of our like Performance Max competitor campaigns.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And that one was interesting because we were like specifically targeting competitors versus just like, drain cleaning near me type of searches. And we got some really good results from that. And now we use that same campaign across all our clients.
Yeah. So from like, from that one on, you guys have since obviously built like an agency specifically for home services. So like, you want to walk us through that journey a little bit?
Yeah. So prior to our introduction, I had an agency. And we were running services, and we were basically working for anybody that would give us business. So we had SaaS.
Well, it's like, it's when you start. Yeah. And it's the same thing. Like we talk about this a bunch on the show of like, we have shut down so many verticals because the bigger you get, the tighter you have to focus, and the tighter you focus, the bigger you get.
Yeah.
Because you're doing less and less, but then you become these like experts. So like we're like an expert at residential service plumbing. Yeah. But like I don't know how to do new construction. Yeah. Like, yeah. And it's still plumbing, Yeah.
Still wildly different.
Yeah, so it's like sounds like same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Like we knew Google Ads, and we knew SEO, and we knew, your basics of marketing and websites and getting conversions. But I think the problem that we were running into is probably a similar problem that other home services companies run into, is like we weren't an expert in any industry.
Yeah.
And so we would come in this SaaS campaign. We're like, well, yeah, we can run Google Ads, and we would do it, and we get good results. Mm-hmm. But it was nothing like that was like blowing them out of the water. Mm-hmm. And so when we met, I remember coming to you and going, "Let me be the agency of record." Mm-hmm. Like any client that you or any other business you buy, let me be a part of it. I'll do the market research beforehand. I'll get you good information about like, hey, do we think that this has like, can we throw just ad dollars by it and grow it by 2x? And I will let you have a say on how things were doing, just because, you have a great mind, Thank you. And no, for real, like you're super smart, and I like saw that as an opportunity, and I wanted that kind of like coming into your business, and we created systems because we partnered with you. Like we were leads focused, and we wanted to help you. Just like, how do we get you, 600 leads a week? How do we keep pushing that number up? Yeah. And now every single time you buy a business, we can just copy and paste the same things. Yeah. And so at some point in that process, I was like, I want to just take this to the market. Mm-hmm. Like, I just want to go out and find other home service, other plumbing HVAC companies, right? You're in Akron. Mm-hmm. And so like, there's no problem with me going out. And I think that you sniffed that out. I think you caught on that I was like going to do that. Yeah. And I think that's when you kind of came to me as like, hey, like, I kind of like this.
Yeah,
like,
I want to help. Like, I think we've done a few of these like fun. We've done a few of these now where, hey, this is someone. So it's like, it's a vendor in our space. So, and like, if I get to have a say in how this gets built, then, or if I like can contribute, or if I can like any way that I can participate, so that I can help design it in my best interest, then we tend to do it. Yeah. But we've done a few of these where, like, we have a partner named Fairday, and it's run by CEO is a friend of mine, Alex Coleman, and he has a business that basically makes your Service Titan data more usable.
Yeah.
Which that's like a big deal. That's like there's a lot going on there. So we have 100,000 customer files, and he makes it like a more usable program. And as early as we could, like, we invested in what he was doing, so that way we could like help him, like basically just like give him advice when he has questions. Yeah. But yeah, like, and then really the same thing that you're here too. He did site visits so he could understand like, okay, what's actually going on inside a home service company. Yeah. Because that was the thing that was so annoying about Scorpion, was they didn't seem, they niched, but they didn't seem to understand like what was happening on the ground. And like, hey, my schedule is empty today. I need to up my budget, or I need to make this change, or I need to do this adjustment. And I'm in desperation mode because my schedule is empty today. Yeah. And it would take them 30 to 45 days to make that change. Mm. And that was like, that's like a core, like, they don't understand the pain inside a home service company. Right. So no, yeah, night and day. But yeah, it is fun to like help people like, hey, here's the real pain points, and like, how can you help me solve them? Yeah. Which is what I hope I brought to you.
I mean, every day when we're talking about marketing, I mean, even just as simple as like, I sent you the dashboard the other day, and you're like, yeah, like leads should be way higher than the second report. Like, it should be the number one thing that we're reporting on a daily basis. And that's why those things change, and why I think this works. Yeah.
So who are you helping now? Like, what's a normal customer look like?
I mean, lots of different. Can I name people on the podcast? How's that work? Yeah. Okay, let's go. So. Yeah, I mean, like we worked with all different types of plumbing companies, from like one-time plumbers to your
which is a franchise.
One time's
or one time's a franchise.
Yep. We've worked with HVAC companies. We've worked with plumbers. We have a roofer that we're working with. We've worked with sign companies, like just like big sign services. A lot of restoration companies come to us.
Oh, interesting.
And that works out really well.
Yeah.
Because we take what we've done with cut and dry and we just copy and paste it. Like, okay, let's start here and then let's work away from that.
Yeah. That one's been interesting because like, and we talked about this before the recording, but restoration is still like so much of it's a referral business. And like, because really restoration is B2B.
Yeah.
At least the way I think about it, it's a B2B business where like if I have a foot of water in my basement or if I have a water loss, like my first call is going to be a plumber or my first call is going to be my insurance agent.
Yeah.
So restoration is like this weird home service where like, yes, we are working in your home and you are the customer, but like you are probably not where we got the lead from. Like you didn't call us direct, you called your insurance agent or you called your plumber. So a lot of restoration leads come from like non-digital sources. Yeah. So it has been really interesting as we've driven success through digital marketing and restoration, which I think is unusual. I don't really know that we've been in it for 3 years, but like I'm not as dialed in on that industry as I am plumbing.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk to restoration companies, most of them are pretty skeptical. They're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the ones that sign up see that you can drive it via digital.
Yeah, I think we drove 4 leads this week.
Yeah.
Which like for restoration, average ticket's $5,000. So like we drove $20,000 this week off of like Google.
Which is nuts.
It's
nuts.
Let's go. That's nuts.
Yeah.
And close rate's kind of like very high because someone has like a foot of water in their basement.
And they need your services. They're not window shopping.
Like I think it's like a 90% close rate. Yeah. It's something ridiculous. So like the more leads you get, like it was interesting.
Yeah.
It was interesting. All right. So restoration companies, I know we've seen success, but I didn't know that you had a bunch of others. So who else are you helping right now?
Man, I'm trying to think of names. I mean, Rapid Response. We've got, lots of different companies, and big and small, right?
Yeah.
I would say our average client, oddly enough, isn't someone that's owned the business for 25 years.
Yeah.
I talk to very few of those people right now because they've built their business and they're happy with where they're at and they're really not trying to grow it. The vast majority of the people I'm talking to right now are like in the middle of LOI and they're like about to buy this company that's doing like 3 to 6 million.
Interesting.
And the conversations I'm having is, I need this and I need to get to 10 million as quickly as possible because I've got to pay off this, this debt that I just took on to take this company. So how do we do this? Is we're having conversations around, well, like you're at 25 leads a week or you're at 40 leads a week or whatever. And to double it, we're going to need a little bit more ad spend. We need to get your conversion rates from 5 to 10% on your website. Yep. We need to have conversations about like, hey, these leads are getting to your sales team.
Yeah.
Like, how are you guys closing? Are y'all closing at a 30 to 40% appointment rate? Because if you're not, then we need to have a sales team problem. How are you handling all the leads, your past customers, your call reps, like all these different ways that you should be taking
and booking rates too, because you added that like listening feature.
Yeah. So we started listening to it.
Yeah, because you had I don't remember who it was, but someone was like, "Hey, we're not getting any leads," and you found out like, no, you're getting them, but like your team's literally not booking them. So you added like a listening feature, which I thought was cool. That was like really cool.
That was a fun one because we can track events on the website. So we can track every single time someone makes a phone call or becomes a lead. And so when I'm showing that we have like 100 events in a week and you're saying, hey, no leads have come through, something's off there.
Yeah.
Like maybe the tracking's not working correctly and I can go in and I can check that. But after that, I was like, hey, you've got CallRail. Let me just listen to every phone call that's coming through. As we just listened, we realized that they were calling in for their services and their admin team was just not doing a good job.
Yeah.
And they're doing fine. But like, there was just definitely some of them that were coming through that was like, oh, this one definitely should have been a sale.
Yeah.
An easy appointment.
Well, it takes so much, time to like listen to, it takes so much to to knock that down. Like it's a big investment.
That's why we have an entire team for it now.
Yeah.
And because I mean, I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, you have to. All right. So the average person you're working with is like a fresh entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It's fun.
I don't think I knew that.
I would say that there's a decent number of people that have bought other businesses, and so like they're just buying in because they're like, okay, this is sexy.
Like fresh to home service.
Yeah, fresh to home service. And then there are some just like 9-to-5 corporate America. Mm-hmm. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm tired of it. I've probably been listening to Owned and Operated, and it's like, I'm ready to buy and get out of the rat race. How do I do that? And they've literally know nothing about plumbing. And they're just like, this looks like a really cool opportunity. And I'm like, there's going to be a lot of learning. So let's buckle up and let's go. In which case you have those situations where they know nothing, and then they have an installer that's like doesn't show up, and they're at night, they're there late at night trying to figure out how, like, is this blue goes what is this? And so
that was Jack's story. So like he buys this business, and he had like 3 techs, and one of them quit the first day.
Jeez.
30% of your business is gone in the first. It's insane.
Wow.
Yeah, the reality of home service.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of fresh entrepreneurs. Like a bunch of different industries, sounds like, but still focused on home service. Man, this is awesome. So, like, what do you think? Where do you think this goes next? Like, what are you excited about inside what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's going to take a really interesting, because I think the people that are coming into the business are very different than the ones that left. Like the ones that left really focused on referrals and just good reviews and word of mouth and things like that. But like the corporate guy that I was just talking to, who actually just signed up, he'll be launching his client, his kickoffs on Monday, which I'm pumped about. But like he understood, Google ads and search volume. And like when we were having a conversation, it was pretty intelligent. It wasn't just like I don't care really what's going to happen. Because I feel like that's where some of the, I won't name names, bigger companies that, built their big marketing, home service marketing companies got built on is an uneducated market that didn't know any better. And they were just like, I'll give you $5,000. Just make sure I get leads, or I'll give you $15,000. Right? Like I come across these accounts all the time. They're like, oh yeah, we spent $25,000. And I'm like, great. How much of that is going to the actual ads versus just management?
Well, when we were on Scorpion, it was like we would spend $30,000 a month on, like, that was what came out of the account, and $20,000 was paid, which is like
absurd.
That's insane.
It's dumb.
Like, how much of that is actually going towards like the thing that you're paying for? Management fees can really like stack pretty quick.
The big thing we're working with on those is a lot of,
and that was just PPC. Like that was because they take like a 20 or 25% commission on PPC.
And then you got LSA and GMB, and like what are they actually doing? You don't know the activities. You don't own anything, and I think that's actually the biggest problem there is. We'll have companies that are like, hey, we want to kind of transfer over to a new marketing company. You guys, I'm like, well, you don't own your website.
We found that out the hard way. And most people that have like, and I'm not trying to like hammer Scorpion, but like most people find that out the hard way because they decide, oh, this isn't working. We're not actually driving leads. That's what happened with us. So like we're sitting there last year and we're like, man, like I need. Like, it was the same story I gave. Like, hey, my schedule's empty, and it's taking you 45 days to make a change. Like, this is crazy. Like, I have to be able to have a deeper, faster impact on my marketing. Like, we're a marketing and sales company. Like, I have to be able to handle my marketing.
Right.
And so we started looking at other options for Wilson, and, like, we couldn't do anything because we didn't own the website. So if we were going to move off of Scorpion that we'd been on for 6 years... Like, I didn't own a word on that website. I didn't own the design. I didn't own the pictures. I think it was a fight to get the URL. Like, it was a real thing. Which I didn't, like, if I would have read the fine print prior, okay, obviously that's a me problem. But I had no idea that, like, it was a lot. Because you invest 6 years into SEO, and then it all, like, goes away. Yeah, it was.
Or if they change anything on their algorithm.
It was pretty shitty.
Or if you go to sell your business, like it's going to make an impact on that like top line. Like you own your website or somebody else owns it and they just have to keep buying that subscription.
Yeah. Which, for the amount of money, like because we paid them hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of like 6 years.
Yeah.
So for the amount of money and at the end of it being like, hey, you actually don't own any of this.
Yeah.
We're just like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like this is insane. Like
how is
this the gold standard currently for home service marketing agencies? Like this, it's insane.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Let's go to battle.
Let's go.
But yeah, I think that's what I'm excited about is the conversation is changing from just hey, let me give you 10 grand and you just drive me leads to a leads focused conversation.
Yeah.
You know, we are actively trying to drive you more leads and we're having those conversations of, well, how many leads do you need? You know, we were talking to a client the other day that had to like turn off their ads because they literally have more leads coming in than they have trucks. And so like we're having those conversations like, okay, well, let's pull it back. Let's not have to turn it off. Let's just make this, span out and go get yourself another truck. Like let's go. That's the perfect problem you want is you have to go find another truck. So let's go. And so making sure that they can scale up with that. And so, hey, I need 30 leads a week. Okay, great. Now I need 60 leads a week. Great. Now we need 100 leads a week. And having those conversations and it becoming more intelligent besides just I pay 10 grand, I get leads. No idea how that goes, but we're growing to I understand this is the machine that we're building and it's yours and you own it.
Yeah. And I think, the flexibility with tech too, because that has to be a thing. Like the more I was having a conversation with Jack yesterday or 2 days ago, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, my SEO company. He's not using you guys for SEO, but he's like, yeah, my SEO company is still doing like 2 articles a month, which was like the gold standard for decades. But it's like tech has gotten faster than that. Like, how can we speed that up? How can we do more? How can we do less? And you guys have been like really flexible and like on top of it, which is cool.
Our minimum is like 10 articles a month.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense
for like the same like price point or whatever as the 2. It is crazy. It's crazy. As we get further and further along into tech, like I think that's something that we have found fun.
Yeah.
So like when I think about our competitive advantage, like a lot tech has become a competitive advantage, especially over the last year as like AI has become more of a thing. And what we're looking at is like, I know that most of our competitors are still only doing 2 articles a month on their website. Yeah. Like they're at like, cause they're in multi-year contracts.
Yeah.
Like that's all that they're doing. That's all anyone has done for decades.
Yeah.
And people are still signing up for 2 article a month contracts, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
So like nearly everyone that we compete against is just doing 2 articles a month.
Yeah.
So like, hey, we can 4x that or 5x that. And like, and it's like easier.
Yeah.
Because like AI enables it now. And it's like one more big change. And I think it's the same with like everything, like the way we're thinking about GMBs, and it's like they're not doing it yet.
Yeah. I think you'd be surprised at our Zapier bill and how much that is. We do a lot of Zapier and automations on the back end. We are deep in ChatGPT and AI, testing against Gemini and all that kind of good stuff. We are absolutely using it. I mean, the things that even from like a Google Ads standpoint, like our team built it out, but then like we can just take in those keywords and have ChatGPT create more keywords. Yeah. It can create more headlines and copy. We can test it out. I've even used it like, hey, like pretend you're these 2 different type of people and like fight over which headline you like better and tell me why.
Oh, interesting.
And they just go on in like this little chat and they just keep trying to convince them. And I find one piece of little detail there. I'm like, oh, let's bring that in. So we are absolutely looking at how can we push this into every
which turns into
aspect.
alpha for the customer.
Yeah.
Because like, again, like most of my competitors are still only doing 2 articles a month.
Yeah.
So like, even if they had a 10-year head start, I would catch up to them in like 6 months.
Yeah.
With like whatever they had for SEO, which is like a wild problem.
on our SEO, like we are taking the top like 5 articles that are ranking for a keyword, pulling that back in and using that as a leverage point to write a new piece of article, which you could have done that, 3 or 4 years ago, but it was all manual. It was all just like
writing it.
Yeah. And now we can just literally have
I think that's the annoying thing about like, so I'm thinking about like how you do this for us. And then like, I know that Scorpion and the other big agencies out there are doing the same, like similar stuff. It's just that they're still only giving 2.
Yeah.
It's like such a ridiculous disservice. It's insane. Like they have the same tools. Like they're just like still choosing to intentionally be like, 2 is what we do. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I think it's because they're not leads focused. You know, it's genuinely because what they do is
it's activity. Like I think marketing agencies, and it's something that drives me nuts. It's like, here's the activity that happened. And it's like, well, cool. Activity is not dollars. So like, I really don't care.
Yeah.
Like activity is like, okay. Like how many things came to my website is great, but like how many click the call button is the actual only thing that matters.
Yeah.
So like, who cares? Like you could be a million visitors to my website and like nothing matters.
Yeah.
But if I got 1 call.
Yeah.
So
until we get to the converson of like, okay, hey, great, we had 1 million people to our website.
Like,
how do we get 2 more clicks, right? And there is a funnel, and that is a good thing. But I do find that most people don't care, and they shouldn't. That's not their job. Their job is to figure out the fulfillment, to figure out their sales, right? That's why we want to come in and do the marketing and focus on, hey, how do we get you more phone calls? How do we get you more form fills that turn into appointments? And you guys can figure out the rest on the back end. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, this is awesome. It's definitely a refreshing take, and I've been a big fan. All right, so the big thing we're excited about is entering the space, refreshing take on home service marketing. Average clients 3 to 5 million. That sounds exciting to me. You've got a great team behind you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anything else you want to share about like what you've been up to at Service Scalers? Like you've been heads down. Like you've been like in the weeds, like starting to build this. So it's cool that you're like you're popping out. I'm like, hey guys, hey, what's up?
Yeah, I mean, we're really only. I mean, yeah, I've been personally doing marketing for 8 years now, and I've owned an agency for like 6, and so this is truly, it feels like still a baby. Like it's still like we're 12 months old. Yeah. And there's just so much potential. And so really,
and you already have dozens of clients too.
Yeah, I mean,
like you guys have been pumping. Yeah, you guys have been pumping.
We've been growing fast. And I think that's one of the things that got me excited is how quickly referrals came in. Yeah, I think over the 6 years, we already have more referrals and Service Scalers from other like current clients than we ever did in my other businesses.
That's wild.
And we got good results. Like we worked with $1 billion companies. Yeah. But I think because we're so focused,
you're focused on the thing that matters, the lead and in home service.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the same thing that you have in your business, right? When you do an HVAC system for somebody and their neighbor's like, who did that? And they're like, oh yeah, you got to check out 100%. The Wilson company. It's amazing. Like that's the same experience that we're having now. Yeah. And so we're very much dialed into that. Yeah, that's cool. We're tracking it, scorecarding it, right? Making sure that like the team understands what, referrals and stuff like that. So, I'm excited to get in here more and continue to, do some site visits with some of our clients and understand the pain points more and problems more and making sure that we're delivering results, right? We really want to make sure that we are an active member and partner in your company's growth. Like we don't want to just sell marketing services. We want to be a lead generator for you and help you get from 3 to 7 million or 5 to 10 million. Like we want to be a part of your growth. Yeah. Or 20 plus. 20 plus. Let's go. Let's go. No, this was good, man. And I'm glad you came up and visited. I think the exposure to, how does like, what actually does happen when the phone rings and like, how do we book it? And how does the tech sell it? And like, what does that process look like? And like the Home Depot in the back, like understanding the time from lead to like, oh, that was installed, that took 7 days. Like why? I think it was good. It's been fun. Yeah. It's been fun. It was really cool driving in and seeing like Wilson
There's
trucks
a lot
like
of Wilson
everywhere.
Trucks. It is kind of funny. If I show up a little bit late for work, because we have 100 trucks on the road.
Yeah.
So if I like show up at like 8:30 or something, for maybe there's a morning appointment, I don't know, but like all the trucks are like rolling out, so I almost like
Little
to show up late now because I'll pass like 60 trucks and I'm like,
let's go.
Cool, man. Well, if people want to connect with you, like where can they find you? How can they talk to you?
Twitter. Hey Sam Preston.
Yep.
I'm there. I'm also on LinkedIn. I think it's like / Samuel Preston or something like that.
Yeah.
Probably need to get that work down.
Yeah.
I would love to connect and work with you if you're buying a home business. Mm-hmm. I know it's scary to share your information about home businesses. I just work with so many people that are like in the middle of LOI that's about to buy a business.
Yeah.
That, they bring it to me. They're like, hey, like, where am I at? Like, do you think this is a good buy? And sometimes I've gone in, I'm like, their marketing is so good that they're owning this. Like, this is phenomenal. Now, you won't be able to easily scale marketing. That's kind of the scary part. Like, when they have an SEO and they're already dominating, it's harder to go like, hey, well, how do I get past number one? Well, you're already number one.
Yeah.
So if that is a conversation you want to have, like, let's go. I love those conversations. I can talk with you to help you figure out from a marketing side, like, where can you go with this business that you're about to buy? Or if you just want to hang, let's do it.
Yeah. No, dude, that was awesome. Well, thanks for coming. Well, one, thanks for coming and site visiting. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then two, thanks for coming on the show. This was cool. I think like you guys have and I know that I've appreciated it. Like you've changed the game for how we think about SEO and PPC, which has been hugely impactful for us. And like we are the guy that's owned it for 10 years. So no, this has been awesome. So thanks for coming on the show. And make sure you check out servscalers.com. Sam and his team's been doing awesome work.
Let's go. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Owned and Operated. If you like what you heard, make sure you check out ownedandoperated.com. Just got a new website, literally done by ServScalers, which was really cool. They did a great job. And make sure you sign up for the newsletter and just keeping in touch with what we're up to. Peace. Thanks for tuning in to Owned and Operated, the podcast for home service entrepreneurs. If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit the like button and subscribe to the podcast. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, feel free to reach out. You can find me on Twitter at @WilsonCompanies. I'll see you next time.